Thanks again for joining us at soc.consulting for all things state board and barber related or cause related. Thanks again for joining us. All right, so now we're going to get ready for the blunt haircut section. So right now I'm spritzing my mannequin with water. It's always good to have the hair moist when you're doing a haircut. It allows for easier sectioning. If the person's hair is curly, it's a really good idea to keep the hair wet as well. So my mannequin, at some point when I'm combing, you might notice some white products on my comb or whatever. But that's because the mannequin already has conditioner in her hair. And it's not a big deal if she has conditioner in her hair. This can also allow the comb to glide easier throughout the hair. You can definitely do this with your own client as well. For straighter hair textures, it works really well. And for people who have hair that may get tangled easily, it really works well to help detangle the hair and also keep the hair smooth throughout the sectioning and hair cutting section. I wouldn't put too much on there because too much product can cause your comb to start slipping. The hair can get too slippery as well. When you're cutting, the hair starts sliding out your hand, and trust me, that's really annoying. So just enough on the hair to keep it smooth and to keep it soft while you cut the hair. Also, this is a good idea too if the person may need a conditioning treatment and you might be limited on time. It's good to do that so they kind of get a conditioner as you cut the hair. So options. Anyway, so right now we're sectioning the hair. We're using 4 sections. All basic haircuts start off with 4 sections. We're going to have 2 in the back, 2 in the front. Always use section clips to section the hair, keep the hair in place. And we always want to have control of our clients' hair when we're working. So sectioning provides really great control for this haircut. All right, so you can take a look at the sections again. 2 in the front, 2 in the back, nicely clipped and tucked away. So now we'll go in with our first subsection on the left side of the head. You can start on the right or on the left, it doesn't matter. The section that you take out should be nice and thin. You don't want your section shouldn't be too thick or too wide, because if you have too wide of a section, you won't be able to see your guide throughout, and I'll show you eventually what that means. So we have our section down. It's always good to kind of tilt the head forward just a little bit so that you can see what you're doing. Notice I have a white napkin under or on top of my cape. That's because the cape is black. So usually if you're cutting hair and the person's hair is darker, this is a good way to see what you're doing when you're cutting hair. So we're using the comb to hold the hair while we cut. It's also used to create a cutting line for the hair as well. And notice I'm using that previously cut guide right there. So I'm cutting right into the guide. Do not cut above the guide. Do not cut below the guide. If you cut above the guide, your haircut is going to get thrown off and it's going to have different lengths throughout. If you cut below the guide, you're going to have a different haircut length again, and your haircut is going to be different lengths. So if you can't see your guide, make sure you comb the hair down again and cut when you see your guide. Now this is another technique used in doing a blunt haircut. You can use your fingers to hold the hair as well. Now it really depends upon you. There's no right or wrong way. These are just different techniques that are used for a haircut. You can use a comb to hold the hair, or you can use your fingers. Me personally, I like using my fingers. That's more comfortable for me. So as I go out through the haircut, you'll notice me continuing to use my fingers. I just wanted to use the comb to show you a different technique. So now you have a new subsection. Notice I'm showing you right there your new subsection. Now you can go to the side to take the hair, comb it down, blend it into your previously cut section, bring it down, make sure you're seeing your guide through the hair. If you see the guide, go ahead and cut. If you don't see the guide, you may need to section a little bit thinner. Comb it down, add tension while you're doing this as well. And when I say tension, I mean pull on the hair. I also use a smaller side of my cutting comb because the smaller side is also gonna add tension to the hair while I comb it through. And you will cut and stop at your third knuckle. Do not go any further than there because you will cut yourself. Now we're working on the next section. By the time, excuse me, by the time you get to the top part of the ear in your back section, or when you get to the back section and you notice you're in line with the ear, you can now start taking your subsections for the side pieces, which will be over the ear, as what I'm doing right now. So you take your side pieces out over the ear, and make sure that lines up with your back section as well. Always maintain tension while cutting the hair. And don't rush. There's no need to rush. Just take your time and cut. Notice my guide, and I'm cutting along my guide, not over, not under, right into the guide. See again, see my guide right there? Cut right into the guide. Make sure you have nice sharp scissors to cut hair. You won't cut yourself. Only cutting hair, not yourself. If you're cutting yourself while you're cutting hair, you're doing something wrong. Well, not necessarily, because sometimes I kind of nick myself a little bit, and that's sometimes when I'm doing something wrong too. Notice you see the guide through the hair? So I just pulled it down so that you see the guide through the hair and the pieces that we're going to cut. And I always cut and stop at my third knuckle. Cut, 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 stop. Watch it again in case you missed it the first time. Cut, 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 stop. So once this is past that third knuckle and you go up, I'm telling you, you are going to cut yourself. So just take your time. There's no need to rush through the haircut. You have plenty enough time. This haircut is maybe should take you about 20 minutes. Because by the time you get to the top of the hair usually starts blending in with the rest of the haircut. So usually the most work you have to do is on your lower sections, like the hair that falls down past maybe the middle of the back. You'll have more work to do if somebody have length like that, but for the most part, the length of hair that we started out with, you shouldn't have too much to do. So now we're at the top part. Taking out my section clips. I'm just combing it down just to make sure there's anything else that needs to get cut, anything else that needs to get blended in. Like I said, by the time you get to the top of the head up there, you shouldn't really have much work to do unless the person started out with very long hair. That's why when you take your mannequin to skateboard, make sure it's at a length that you can control the cut and you can control what you're doing. So right now we may have a few pieces to cut, or it might not. We still just have a little bit in some areas to clean up, but not much work to do. Also make sure that you have the front part of the client's hair parted how she wear it after you finish the haircut. So right here, we're just making sure that everything is uniformed around the whole perimeter. So we comb everything down and we're making sure everything is uniform all the way around. Okay, so this will pretty much finish up your haircut. Just go back in and just check to make sure both sides are even. Nobody wants to see right there, nobody wants an uneven haircut. So right there, I'm just checking just to make sure both sides are even, both sides are uniform. She has a blunt haircut. So thank you so much again for watching our video and for having Share of a Comb prepare you for your stage 4. Thank you so much again, and you have a great day.